Hi, I'm Ammie Masterson, and I wanted to be a part of this project because it really spoke to me. My boys, I'm the mother of two triracial sons. They're black, white, and Filipino. Their father is white and Filipino. And it really made me want to speak to the fact that when their father and I split up, my oldest was 5 and my youngest was 2. And at that time, the visitation, they would live most of the time with me and then have visitation with their father. And so they had these two households that they were living in different states. Of course, the surrounding area was different, and they still were having the struggle with their identities. Not necessarily, I'm more one thing than I am the other. It was more about them not wanting to choose sides. So anytime I tried to talk about my Black heritage or Black history, they didn't really receive it. And it wasn't in an effort to say that I'm just not that at all. It was more of a subconscious thing that they didn't want to offend their father by learning more about their mother. I just think it's hard. I think it's really hard for kids, for biracial kids, to live in a world, especially with what we're dealing with now, and feeling like they have to choose sides. I mean, in some cases, they're identified whether they like it or not. And people make assumptions about them, where they come from, who they are, whether they like it or not. And it goes back to, in history, my grandmother she was white, Black, and Cherokee. And she grew up in Mississippi in a time when you couldn't ride the bus if you were Black. And she was able to pass and ride the bus, whereas my grandfather, who came from the same area where they met, was not. And so to know that kids feel now like they have to pass and feel like they can't be who they are, it's really difficult. So then they struggle with that. When you try to raise someone in a race only of your own, and you don't give them the tools to maneuver in other areas, when they go to a place and they say, oh no, I'm white, and someone disagrees with them, that's gonna be hard. It's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? No, you're not. That's not true. Don't do that. You don't belong in this area. And that will happen. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Some people never miss an opportunity to let you know just what you're not. I mean, that's reality. That's real. That's so real that people need to stop pretending that it's not, because it's setting these kids up for huge disappointment and some heartache that they may not be able to come back from. Because it's hard to hear somebody tell you that you're not enough in any sense of the word, but especially if it's just ingrained in who you are and that makes you not enough. It's a beautiful thing to want to know who you are and to embrace who you are, all the parts of who you are. It only makes you stronger. It's just being able to not operate in a colorless world, but operate in a world that does see color and believe it's beautiful. That's where we need to be. In a real place where you have real conversations and it's really okay. When we can get to a place where it's really okay and it's really accepted and nobody has to pretend to be anything or pass to be anything, then we're on our way. But until that happens, it's up to the parents and it's up to the people in these kids' lives to make sure they arm them with that and prepare them and give them the love that they need to know that who they are is beautiful. So I love this project because I think it's important for people to be aware, and for kids who are biracial and people who are biracial to know that, number one, they're not alone. Number two, that it's important to know who you are and where you come from, and it's okay to try to figure that out. And it's okay not to know how to figure that out. That's why communication is so important, and being able to reach out to people who go through the same things, and seeing films like this and seeing projects like this and getting inspired by it, and hopefully opening up a bigger dialogue on this issue. So that's why I'm here.